What is going on, beautiful people? If you're watching this, that means that you have supported the Masterpiece edition of Black Wall Street, the board game. We appreciate you. And as promised, we want to make sure you get to connect directly with the amazing artists that have contributed. On with me, to my left, hopefully it's also on your left if you're rewatching this. On my left, we got Kaila Romei from Made in Romei, an amazing digital canvas and fashion artist out here in sunny Los Angeles, California. Romei, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm great today. It's gloomy, but I'm feeling great down here in LA. And, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Happy to have you. Appreciate you. We're gonna jump right in. First off, what inspires you to create art? And that's I know that's kind of general, and I know you have a lot of different mediums that you work with. But as in general, what inspires Romei to create?
So, honestly, I am going to take it all the way back. Um, when I was 9 is when I started doing art, like drawing, sketching, all of that. I would just go to the library and get comic books. And when I was 9, I would trace the pages, and then I kind of taught myself how to draw from there. So that kind of inspired what is Made by Romei today, because I still do a lot of comic book art, a lot of anime art, and a lot of Black art as well. Um, yeah, but I also watch a lot of anime. So a lot of that inspires um, a lot of the art that I do, as well as the Black experience and a lot of the trauma that happens within the Black community. I do have a bottle series that I'm doing currently. So it's just kind of, I paint a bottle with a flower in it, but the flower and the bottle are representative of things that are related to the history of African and African Americans. So, for example, one is a crown bottle, but it has a red hot poker flower coming out of it. So the crown is kind of representative of um, alcohol and how it kind of plagues the Black community. You see a lot of, you don't really see health food stores on the corners in more of the hood areas. You more so see like liquor stores and stuff. So I wanted to make that piece to kind of bring attention to that. So just the Black experience, basically, the moral of that story. The Black experience inspires me to make art because I live it every day.
Love it. I didn't know about your alcohol bottle project. That sounds dope. I like the concept of taking the pain and some of the anguish that alcohol does put on our communities and other communities, but making art out of that, like making beauty out of the same thing that causes pain. I see you.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what's important. The flower is also representative of, or represents the Ubuntu tribe, which is in South Africa. And so that's actually the richest tribe in Africa. So that flower is growing out of a crown bottle to remind us of like our royalty. So that's the importance of that piece. Okay, you like that?
I do.
More to come.
I do. I like that. If you like what you're hearing so far, go ahead and check out Made by Romei on Instagram and the website Made by Romei as well, I believe.
Yes,
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 it is.
sir.
There it is. Go check
Dot
it out.
com.
Now getting a little bit random, but you mentioned anime, so I can't let you off the hook without giving us like your top three animes, either of all time or that you're vibing with right now.
hmm Okay, so top three. Wow, I just got asked this last week too. I really like Naruto, like a bunch of other people. It just captures your soul. You gotta watch it. It's long, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, The Promised Neverland, that one is great. And it's always a tie with number three, but I'm gonna have to go with Demon Slayer. Yep. I'm gonna have to go with Demon Slayer. It's just beautiful.
It's beautiful with the name Demon Slayer. Okay, I haven't checked it out yet.
You should watch it. I believe it is on Netflix.
Okay.
But it's great. I love it. I feel like the first episode is gonna hook you. But those are my top 3. They're amazing.
Okay.
They're
I'll
great.
check Demon Slayer out because I've never heard of that. I've been a fan of Naruto for sure. That's
Yeah.
one of the greats for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, diving back in. The piece that you contributed is called Historical Drip, which is it was a fire name. When we put up the visuals, the name's gonna make sense. But even if you didn't see it, just Historical Drip had a good vibe to it. So can you talk about the naming of it and like what that means, and then what was the message that you want to convey with this Historical Drip piece?
So for me with Historical Drip, I kind of sat on it for a few days. I was kind of like, all right, what do I want to do that is gonna really allow the Black woman to shine? So I kind of set up the Black woman in the center. Her body isn't finished, she's dripping. The drip is just kind of like it's what I do with a lot of my art, but for me to put historical drip, we all know that Black people throughout history, like we just have the drip. Like I don't really know what else to tell people. But she is set up like the sun. So the yellow parts are the rays. And the rainbow going down it's kind of an ode to colorism as well, because it's kind of just showing that Black women, no matter, because we do have that problem in our community, Black women come in all shades, and it doesn't make you any less Black to be any of those shades. So that was really important to me. The quote at the bottom there, I have Alpha and Omega in there. She is the Alpha and Omega, queen of all light, the beginning and the end. So we all know that life originated in Africa. Like that is where all life stems from. And it of course stems from the Black woman. So she is the end and she is the beginning. She started life and she'll probably be the last one standing, you know? That's kind of what I've gotten from it. All my years at Davis taking African and African American studies classes.
Yep.
I put the pick in there because that was kind of just a little shout out to Black women's pros, and the black lipstick for the Black Panthers, the fist for the Black Panthers, you know, just Blackness in general. Just kind of threw some elements in there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's what it is basically.
Love it. And yeah, I love the details. I feel like that's a common trend among some of the artists that have contributed. It's like the really small details to where if you know, you know, like with the black lipstick, even the hoop earrings, the afro, I feel like all of that is very intentional, and appreciate that for sure.
Thank you.
Colorism. I think that was an interesting one, theme that I think isn't necessarily obvious, but when you talk through it, it makes obvious sense. Like, oh, rainbow, Black women, the different colors, that makes sense. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of breaking down those barriers of colorism within the Black community, whether it's Black women specifically or Black community in general?
Yeah. So I feel like in society, which seems to happen in a lot of different races as well, the lighter half of the race or the lighter people within the race are kind of deemed more highly, as like the darker people in the race are just kind of pushed aside or not given as many opportunities. Like, and I kind of feel like rap honestly is to blame a little bit for this. Everybody listens to it. It kind of just enters your brain. You know, you just listen to it on the radio, and people, I think, kind of internalize these values. And I feel like we shouldn't. And especially with Black women, it divides the race a lot. Like when you insult somebody, like say, for instance, like when I was in middle school, if there was someone darker, like the kids would be like, oh, you're a burnt piece of toast, like something random like that. And it's just kind of like that child goes home and internalizes that. But it's just kind of like, why where did you learn that from, one? And
Mm.
two, like, how did the babies like get a hold of this stuff? But then as well, um, it really just divides everybody. And I think a lot of Black men too kind of pick and choose their women based off colorism, like certain things. So like, I don't know, I could go to the club and like some guy will say like, oh, you look exotic, or I prefer lighter women compared to darker women. And I'm just like, but why? Are we not all Black? Like, is it not all the same? You know? And it just kind of like, women just kind of internalize that. And I feel like it's important for the race to kind of uplift each other no matter what their shade is, you know? If you see your friend on Instagram, like, ooh, like, oh my gosh, like, come on, skin, come on, everything, right. Come on, hair. Like, I just feel like it's important, especially for Black women, to do that, because we are also, as Black women, raised in kind of like I saw this yesterday, it was crazy. What is the word that I'm looking for? An environment where everything is kind of competition. That's what I feel like. And naturally, we're raised in that environment, but then I feel like we kind of project it onto each other as well. Because we already have to kind of be a little bit competitive to get our foot in the door in certain spaces in society. But I feel like colorism is one of those things that we kind of project on ourselves. And that's also like one of the ways that we compete with each other when we shouldn't. You know, I feel like we can lift up the whole race if we kind of break down those barriers and just uplift each other with compliments, and, you know, making sure we don't teach our children those like values of, oh, this is your skin color compared to this other skin color, you know?
Right.
But
Love
yeah.
it. Love it. And I like the fact that you said, you know, it's possible. We're not gonna put it all on hip hop or music, but it's very possible
Yeah.
that rap has, you know, fed into colorism and dividing folks up and boosting up that competition. But I like how through visual art, through other forms of art, we can help heal that as well. So
Yeah.
art and culture can be, you know, the problem at times, but can also definitely be the solution at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us, we do have Kaila Romei from Made by Romei with us. You can follow her on Instagram at Made by Romei, or go online to get her swaggy Made by Romei sweatshirt, some digital or historical drip hats, all that good stuff available. So shifting gears just a little bit, Miss Kaila Romei, where else or what other projects have you done? So this is a, you know, specific project for a board game. We're definitely honored and glad to have you. But what other types of projects do you do as well?
Well, besides Black Wall Street, I do a lot of art. It's called Urban Rarity. It's a celebrity custom store. So the girl that runs the shop does a bunch of different custom outfits, or outfits, hoodies, sweatshirts, wholesale, retail. She does all of that for various celebrities and people in LA. But she lets me like put stuff in there. So we've been like collabing on stuff. Well, we have collabed on stuff in the past. I recently did actually, no, that wasn't recent. That was maybe a few months ago. I did a body painting. So I collabed with, her name is Ketrice. I think her name on Instagram is Trisky. But she's an herbalist and she meditates and is just into all the spiritual good stuff that you've ever wanted in life.
Nice.
But she had me do a body painting of her with the sacral chakra, which is the yellow one. So I painted her yellow and we took pictures and stuff like that. So that was really fun. And then I was featured in the November 2020 and I think the October 2020 issues of Trap Art.
Okay, so, out here, okay.
We out here a little bit, you know, dibbling dabbling. So that, and then I try to do whenever trap shows have art. Oh my God, Trap Art has shows, which hasn't been recently because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done that too. Now that the world's opening back up, I'm just trying to get into more art shows.
Mm.
I also work with Compton Artists Alliance when they have shows and fundraisers and various stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it so
Nice.
far.
So I want to do see if I can find it real quick. But you do a lot of dope custom pieces,
Yes.
right? So while I go look for this custom piece that you did for me, can you talk about just the different opportunities people do have if they want to have, a custom piece made? Go to madebyromei.com, and what types of things do you have available for custom?
Okay. So I can do literally anything that you can bring me to paint on, like canvases, hats, flower pots, hoodies mainly. Hats are really my specialty. Okay. Jean jackets, definitely. Um, Shoes, jeans, sweatpants, backpacks, purses. I just did a shoot with a purse maybe like a week ago for Mother's Day. So that's up there. And I just got some orders for purses. So I'm like, awesome. But yeah, you just basically tell me what it is you want on the hat or the jacket or whatever you'd like me to paint on.
Yep.
And I will paint on it for you and tell you the price, and I'll ship it to you. Shipping's included.
There it is. Yeah, I remember. I think the first piece I ever got from you was the Team Alien hat that I think my wife got for me for my birthday.
Yes.
Second piece was that Nipsey jean jacket, which was beautiful. I've only worn it once because I feel like it's like I don't know, you don't wear that out that much.
Right.
So yeah, love the custom pieces. Shifting back a little bit, what does art do for you? Like when you are able to create, is it a healing process? Is it just a distraction from the world? Is it your real world? Like why do you create art? What is your motivation to create art?
So I create art because I just want to have unique things. When I first started, it was kind of like, okay, I don't have anything like this. I have something in my head. I can't find it anywhere. Why don't I just make it? So actually, when I was younger, when I was like 9 or 10, when I told you about how I started tracing the comic books, I actually made a comic book of my own out of printing paper.
No.
Because I was like, I literally want to create my own story. Like, I don't have this story anywhere else. So it's just a thick comic book that I drew myself. I can't find it now, which is so crazy,
Oh,
but it's so sad.
yeah.
But ever since then, I'm just like, oh, if I want this, why don't I just do it myself? Like, even the comic strip series that I've been doing, I wanted to have like jeans with like comic panels on it. And I'm like, I can't find this anywhere. I don't see it. So I was just like, let me just make it. Like, why not? So I think it's kind of therapeutic for me as well. It's like their orders sometimes, but at the same time, it's like very therapeutic for me to just sit down and take time to myself to paint. I also host paint and sips. So it kind of makes me, well, it does make me happy to show other people how art can be therapeutic to them. So just letting them come in, and if they're 21 and up, drinking, drink wine or something like that, because it's a paint and sip. And just let them just create whatever they want on the canvas. And they can either come to me and say, hey, because I do ship out paint kits as well. I want a paint kit. And I'm like, okay, did you want your own like custom image, like something that I painted specifically for you? Or did you want something that I already had available? And so they tell me, and I'm like, okay. And then I just ship all the supplies out to them. And I also host it on Zoom, or I also have step-by-step videos on my website if you'd rather go that way too. So it just depends on the person, but it really like makes me happy to just see people like just kind of relaxing and just kind of being like, okay, this is a self-care night, basically, like providing that for other people.
I didn't know you hosted virtual paint and sips. I might have to gotta hit you up about that. And these jeans with the comic panel strips.
Yes.
Let me know when those are available as well. Let's nerd out.
Absolutely.
Okay, maybe last question for you is,
Mm-hmm.
who are some of your artist mentors out there? Whether it's you get the mentorship about business through them, or get the mentorship on styles and creation and possible
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. But who are you looking to for support and growth in the artist community?
Man, honestly, first and foremost, I have to go with his name is Shot by Chuck on Instagram. He is just the greatest. He's a photographer,
Okay.
but he's amazing. He really pushes me to keep going. Um, when I get discouraged, or if I come to him and I'm like, hey, do you like this? What do you think about this idea? We just kind of bounce ideas off of each other. Um, so he is just an amazing help. Helps me actually record my paint and sips and everything like that. And he's just an all around great supporter. I look to him because he's very positive and optimistic about everything. And so I'm like, when something goes wrong, I'm like, okay, let me channel my inner like Chuck. Let me really like think about this and chill. Cause I'm like, oh dang, I have this painting, but I ran out of like black or something. Never run out of black. Ran out of black, like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? I was like, okay, let me just think about this. So he's very calming. Another one of the mentors that is a really amazing person. Her name is Courtney. She runs Urban Rarity in downtown LA, and she is amazing. She's actually who got me started painting hats, because she was just like, oh yeah, I just have stuff in the shop. If you want to paint on it, go ahead. And I'm like, oh, what about hats? And she's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I know where to get hats. Let's go downtown. So she really like jump started the business itself, like helped me to do that mentally, and just kind of form all the ideas around it.
Mm.
And I really admire her hustle and just look to her for that aspect as well. Um, Definitely Markel.
Mm.
He is just out here grinding. I'm just like, dang, we didn't know. Like, okay, we didn't know. We're short.
Right.
So he's also a really great person to look towards in that aspect. And just a lot of my supporters, man. Like, I look to them because they always support me no matter what. So wouldn't be here without them. Shout out to Jabari and Will from Davis.
Shout out to the team. So love that. Looks like you got a lot of good folks supporting you from different avenues, and always supporting the customers and the community. Must
Mm-hmm.
love. If you want to join and be a part and help support Kaila later on in the future, follow on Instagram, Made by Romei. Go ahead and go online, madebyromei.com, who is one of the featured artists in the masterpiece edition of Black Wall Street, the board game. Miss Romei, we appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by, and we wish you nothing but success and prosperity in the future.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of
You're the
course.
best.
Got you.